Audi loves to be ahead of the game and getting an eye-catching drive already grabbing all the attention. You must be thinking if it's just the exterior beauty of this car has more to it. Aren't you? Well, welcome back to Tech Electric. If you love cars and like to know updates about them, you're at the right place. Right away, subscribe to the channel. We bet you won't regret it at all. Without any further chatting, let's get into the details ASAP. Audi's EV strategy for India has been, to put it mildly, offensive. It is now the only manufacturer with 4 EV vehicles in its lineup. We've driven the e-tron, e-tron Sportback, and even the e-tron GT, and the best is yet to come. The RS e-tron GT is Audi's premier electric vehicle. In many ways, it looks like a regular GT, but the red rhombus on the grille reminds you that this is the most powerful automobile Audi has ever produced. It is a massive crown to wear, and as a result, the stakes are at an all-time high. The exterior of the 2022 Audi RS e-tron GT, Oomph Generator. As previously said, the RS e-tron GT shares many design aspects with the regular version, which we just drove. Put them side by side, and you won't be able to tell them apart save for the badging. Look for blacked-out emblems, as the normal cars are coated in chrome. It comes standard with LED matrix headlights, stylish and sculpted bumpers for excellent aerodynamics, and front vents that feed air to the brakes and through the side of the car. The bonnet has a big indent that looks sharp and dynamic, and regardless of the paint color, it will turn heads and draw cameras. The coupe-like roofline is the focal point on the side. It is responsible for the RS's sleek appearance, as well as a magnificent 20-inch wheels. They too are optimized for airflow and can assist in cutting through the air. The RS insignia and the stunning long LED light bar can be found at the rear. There isn't a single aspect of the RS that won't excite the 8-year-old in you. 2022 Audi RS e-tron GT interior, how much power is inside? Step inside the RS, and the cabin makes its RS pedigree very evident. The layout is the same as the conventional version, but there are sporty parts all over the place. The steering wheel is coated in Alcantara, and the dashboard features a carbon fiber design with plenty of piano black and brushed aluminum. The seats are also sportier, with plenty of red stitching. It also has a 12.3-inch virtual cockpit that can be completely customized. A lap timer and a calculator for 0 to 100 kph, 0 to 200 kph, and even quarter-mile times are among the RS-worthy features. When you want to slay some supercars on the drag strip, this comes in handy. There's also a 10.1-inch touchscreen MMI system, which is happily the only touchscreen in here. Instead of the low-down second screen seen on other high-end Audis, the RS has tactile switches that are far more convenient. There is, of course, wireless charging in the entire compartment, and the RS has a complete glass top for sunroof fans. However, you can obtain a carbon fiber roof to assist you lose a few pounds. The front seats also have amazing massaging options, which come in handy after a long day of driving. The back seat is best suited for 2 adults, and the sweeping roofline makes it feel cramped. It is best if it is used by children, or perhaps by friends or relatives, because you'd never want to get out of the driver's seat in this RS. Audi RS e-tron GT Performance in 2022. Shock therapy. The biggest difference the RS badge makes to the e-tron GT is the increase in power. It is Audi's most powerful vehicle ever, with a whopping 646 HP and 830 Nm. It's not surprising, then, that the quoted 0 to 100 kph time is a laughable 3.3 seconds. And what better way to kick off the drive than by looking at the numbers? Engage launch control, place your foot on the brake, build up boost, prepare your organs, and let off of the brakes. No matter how many supercars you've driven and how brutal they were, nothing compares to the shock to the system that an EV this powerful provides. Sure enough, it managed to beat its own time by 3.2 seconds, reassuring me that the future is truly bright. A 0 to 100 kph hard launch in an ICE supercar with comparable statistics is like to being dragged ahead by a lasso. You anticipate it. The engine is roaring, the tachometer needle is dancing about, and you have a fraction of a second to prepare as you let off of the brakes. It feels much more normal now. It's as though you're being shoved from behind on the RS. You never know how much force to expect. The motors are totally silent, and all of that 830 Nm comes at once, which is thrilling. No matter how many launches you execute, each one is equally thrilling, raising your pulse rate and leaving you panting for air. The 2 motors, one on each axle, an e-quattro system, the most advanced version of quattro yet, and the 2-speed transmission are all equally to blame for the ferocious performance. The 2-speed transmission is used not just for acceleration, but also for cruising speeds. The short first gear contributes to the initial kick, and the lofty second gear contributes to the charge ahead. The e-Quattro technology ensures that the correct amount of power is sent to the correct wheel in a perfectly seamless manner. Then there's the controlled rear differential, which is designed to ensure that power is supplied in the most efficient manner possible. It's all really intelligent and sophisticated technology, but the ultimate result has you giggling like a child. The handling is also exceptional for a vehicle of this size. The optional all-wheel steering reduces the RS's size in tight bends, while the electromechanical power steering plus adjusts the weight based on your mode. You never experience a shortage of communication or feedback when you mix everything. Having said that, despite the fact that it helps a lot, you can feel the heaviness in the corners. The RS isn't exactly light, and the heft is noticeable when pushed. It feels huge, and you have to be careful on a series of tight twisties. However, the grip and body control are superb. The RS also features variable air suspension, which gives a nice duality to the overall character. It's composed and pliant in comfort, but the ground clearance is a bit of an issue over major bumps, and you have to be careful driving it around town. When you select Dynamic, the suspension drops, the performance sharpens, and the ride is as firm as any RS. When you slam it into a turn, all of the magic from the e-Quattro, diff, and all-wheel steering comes into play. It's a lot of fun to drive, and the only thing missing is the exhaust growl that you associate with an RS. Of course, there is no engine, but Audi has added some excitement with synthesized sounds. While they sound incredibly sci-fi and they belong in the next Star Wars movie, they simply cannot compete with the exhilaration of a good old V8. Tunnels are boring in the RS e-tron GT, and nobody will hear you approaching in supercar rallies. In this regard, it's more Batman than Iron Man. However, when it comes to stopping the chaos, the RS's brakes are quite excellent. The tungsten carbide-coated brake calipers aid in heat dissipation, decrease wear, and avoid unnecessary brake dust. What you will notice is the intense bite they provide. If your body's organs have been thrown to the back following the frenzied acceleration, the brake should get them back in place, if not a little further. The RS e-tron GT is a powerful supercar that also happens to be an EV. Audi promises a range of 401 to 481 kilometers from a 93.4 kilowatt-hour battery pack. In practice, you may expect a shade above 300 kilometers. The charging times are likewise identical to the basic e-tron GT. A charge from 5 to 80% will take 9 hours 30 minutes with an 11 kilowatt charger, 5 hours 15 minutes with a 22 kilowatt charger, and 22 minutes with a 270 kilowatt charger. It also includes 3 degrees of recuperation, which, while not as powerful as we would have liked, do help a lot, especially while going downhill. To be honest, there isn't much that can be said against the RS e-tron GT. It costs Rs 2.05 crore, which is Rs 25 lakh more than the ordinary model. However, for the extra money, you get loads of gear as standard, a much faster car, and bragging rights to the most powerful car in the Audi range. It has the power, the show, and it is reasonable to say that Audi has created another RS that is appropriately savage, only this time it is also silent. That's about it for the video. We will meet you in the next one. Until they do, show your support via liking the video. And do tell us in the comment section what is the coolest thing you think about this car. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more.